مشاهدينا أهلا وسهلا فيكم بحلقة جديدة من أمنيات تي في فقرة شباب نت. حلقة اليوم مميز كتير لأنه معنا ضيف مميز هو الكوميدي دين عبيد الله. دين عبيد الله كوميدي أمريكي من أصل فلسطيني، ولد في ولاية نيو جيرسي الأمريكية. ترك المحاماة ليكتب نكت عن الأمريكيين العرب بعد الأحداث 11 من سبتمبر. في البداية كان من ضمن مجموعة اسمها محور الشر أو Axis of Evil، تيمناً بتسمية الرئيس بوش آنذاك. اشتهر دين بأسلوبه الفكاهي الذي يناقش من خلال القضايا الاجتماعية والاقتصادية والسياسية التي يتم تبسيطها في مشاهد تمثيلية معاصرة تحاكي الواقع الذي يعيشه العرب الأمريكيون في الولايات المتحدة. دين هو المؤسس والمنتج المشارك للمسلسل الساخر قائمة المراقبة أو The Watch List الذي اشتهر عالمياً. هو أيضاً المدير التنفيذي لأمان ستاندوب كوميدي. أيضاً دين حائز على جائزة بيل هيك سبيريت أواردز لإثارة الفكر الكوميدي. أخيراً دين قدم عروض كوميدية في الشرق الأوسط، في فلسطين والأردن والسعودية ومصر ولبنان وعمان وقطر ودبي. Joining us from the States, Dean Obeidallah. Dean, thank you very much for joining us.
Sure, thanks for having me on.
Dean, let me start with you with the most recent article that you have wrote in CNN. I'm against gay marriage and straight marriage too. Do you really oppose gay marriage?
No, I really don't. I'm a pretty progressive person. To me, it's really about discrimination. It's not about morals or anything. In America, whatever your gender is, whatever your choices are, the laws don't change because of your sexual orientation. So to me, as a former lawyer, it's just about discrimination. So I'm against discrimination, so I'm in favor of marriage equality.
When it comes to gay marriage and gay rights in general, why does it become very sensitive when someone is opposing gay marriage? And the reason why I'm asking is because we remember in 2005 when Muslims and Arabs got mad because of the Denmark caricatures, and the answer that we received from the West is this is freedom of expression. So why isn't it dealt in the same way with gay marriage?
I think because religion plays a role, at least in the United States, where people's opposition to gay marriage has more to do with their interpretation of their own religion than anything to do with freedom of expression. And I agree with you. I think that sometimes people are hypocritical. They talk about the Constitution should be viewed limitedly in America. It should be very conservative interpretation. Yet they'll twist it around to try to use it to support their arguments against fairness and equality against people when they don't like those people. There's some hypocrisy in America. We have it all over the world, I'm sure.
Okay, let's move on to stand-up comedy in the Middle East. Tell us a little, how did this journey start with you, and how are the Arabs reacting to it?
Well, stand-up comedy is going great. The last 3 years, there's been a lot of stand-up comedy shows across the Arab world. It's really been such a great privilege for me to perform there. I never thought I would do many shows there. But the young people have really taken to it because they watched it on YouTube. They saw the Axis of Evil, that was a big part of it. And now, not only do they come out to the shows, but they're now doing stand-up comedy, which I think is more exciting. They're young Arabs doing comedy in Arabic and in English across the region, from Egypt through Saudi Arabia, where Saudi Arabia's got so many young people doing comedy. It's amazing. I was just there a couple months ago doing a show. So it's thrilling. They understand comedy really well. The Arabs are very funny. A lot of times people in the West don't realize that the Arabs are not only laughing, but they can tell jokes themselves. They don't believe that. So it's great that they are knowing about this little by little.
Was your first start was in Jordan?
The first show I ever did, actually, I think may have been in Egypt, but the festival I produced the last 3 years has been the Amman Stand-Up Comedy Festival in Jordan. It's run by the city of Amman. It's a not-for-profit festival. And they asked me to be the executive producer because I produced the New York Arab American Comedy Festival for the last 8 years with my friend Mason Zayed. So they asked me to use my experience here to help them there. So we're planning our 4th festival this December. That's the first and only annual stand-up comedy festival in the Middle East history. And it's so much fun. Sold out shows, very diverse lineup, not just Arab comedians, UK, Canadians. Russell Peters was there a couple of times. Ali Hassan, who's from Canada, Yemen. A lot of Canadian comedians have been in the festival in Jordan.
Okay, tell us, what is the worst Arabic stereotype that you have came across or have been accused of being Arab yourself?
Well, it depends on the situation and what's going on. A lot of times it was about people didn't think Arabs could be funny, which I was really offended by that. And little by little, they learned we could be funny. Then on the really serious side, people would accuse Arabs or Muslims, they use the term interchangeably in America, of wanting to be terrorists, just waiting for a time to try to take over America. When less than 2% of America is Muslim, at no time in the future, in the near future, are Arabs or Muslims taking over America. But again, it's some of the fear mongering on the right, and it's hopefully, I think mainstream America rejects most of them, but they're still out there. There's people who are saying horrible things every day in the media about Arabs and Muslims in America. It's very disheartening.
Dean, I just want to roll back a little bit. What made you leave law school and go to comedy stuff?
Well, I
I'm not
finished
sure.
law.
Like, you graduated in law school, I think.
Yeah, and I practiced law for a few years. I just didn't enjoy it. It wasn't really for me. I enjoyed making people laugh. I enjoyed being creative. I was also active in politics. And for me, comedy is sort of a combination of entertainment and politics, almost like The Daily Show, where you can talk about real issues. You can be funny, but you're also educating at the same time. So, good for me. Being a lawyer was very, very boring. I didn't enjoy it at all. I had to get out.
Dean, we're just going to stop a few minutes for a break and we'll be back. مشاهدينا بس فاصل إعلاني قصير ونرجع معكم مع دين عبيد الله.
How does the mass media cover issues important to Canadian Arabs and Muslims? Is it fair, or are issues ignored? These stories and more are discussed in this moving and controversial documentary, Guilty Until Proven Innocent. Guilty Until Proven Innocent premieres on Omni on Sunday, August 28, 2011 at 9 p.m. This exciting documentary sheds the light on the detainees under the security certificate like Mahmoud Jaballah. Guilty Until Proven Innocent includes interviews with the British foreign correspondent Robert Fisk, Israeli historian Ilan Pape, Canadian filmmaker Alexander Trudeau, Toronto Star editorial writer Haroon Siddiqui, and others. Guilty Until Proven Innocent is directed by Gabby Andreas.
هالبرنامج عم بيتقدم لكم برعاية أندريوس ميديا.
مشاهدينا الكرام، أهلا وسهلا فيكم مجددا. معنا اليوم الكوميدي دين عبيد الله. قبل ما أنتقل وأكمل معه خلينا نشوف الفيلم القصير لدين عبيد الله.
We are so racially profiled now as a group that I heard a correspondent not too long ago say the expression, Arabs are the new blacks. He said, Arabs are the new blacks. And when I heard that, I'm going to be honest, I was excited. I'm like, oh my God, we're cool. It's my dream.
إذا مشاهدينا هذا كان فيديو فكاهي من دين عبيد الله. Dean, I wanted to ask you, I've seen one of your interviews, you were defending Jordanians because people think that Jordanians do not laugh and do not have sense of humor. Why do you think people have that impression about them?
I don't know why. People always tell us that, but it's not true. The Jordanians laugh a great deal. They're very funny people. I think it's because the Jordanians tell people they don't laugh and don't smile, which is ridiculous, but they do tell you that. They go, we never laugh. But then they come to the show and they laugh a lot. In fact, they're great audiences. They're one of the best around the whole region. I think it's because so many are Palestinian heritage. They feel this weight on their shoulders because of the conflict. But when they get to a comedy show, they're great. They're funny. And comedians who are Jordanian are really funny as well. So I love it performing there.
Okay, Dean, lastly, when are we going to see you back in Canada?
Well, inshallah, at the end of the year, more likely, I'd say early 2012, probably the spring of 2012, Montreal and Toronto.
And if people would like to follow up with you, they can always visit your website, deanofcomedy.com. They'll find all the information and ticket information.
Absolutely. On Twitter as well at Dean of Comedy.
Thank you very much, Dean, for accepting our invitation. And we hope to see you always in our program. Thank you very much
Thanks
for joining us.
Thanks.
إذا مشاهدينا إن شاء الله تكونوا انبسطتوا معنا مع دين عبيد الله، وبنتمنى إنه تستمتعوا دائما بالحلقات اللي بنقدم لكم إياها. ممكن تتواصلوا معنا دائما على الفيسبوك ويوتيوب وتويتر تحت اسم أمنيات تي في. أنا من هون بودعكم وإن شاء الله بشوفكم الأسبوع الجاي.
This program was brought to you by Paramount. Savor the flavor of the Middle East.